Yo, what's up guys, it's NLW here, back again with another video. Today going to be unboxing AEW Series 5 complete set of figures, but before we get into the video, make sure you like and subscribe to NLW Figs for more wrestling figure content, and as always, comment down below what you think of the video, and if you've got any of these, what is your favourite figure of the bunch? So, without further ado, let's get into it. So we start off, you can see the packaging, the beautiful packaging. First of all, we'll start with Luchasaurus. So here you see he's got the brilliant tattoo design, and no spoilers, but this is looking to be my favourite of the bunch so far. At least this was the one that I wanted the most heading into the series being released. And then we have his tag team partner in the Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and this is from an episode of Dynamite back in 2019. And now moving on, we've got the inaugural AEW World Tag Team Champions. First of all, we start with Frankie Kazarian. There you see, it's good to see him in figure form after his long stint in TNA back in the day, as well as Scorpio Sky, his tag team partner, or at least former tag team partner in SCU. Again, from the night they won the AEW World Tag Team titles. And now we've got some duplicates. So first of all, we have Hangman Adam Page, his second AEW figure, complete with the mug and everything. This from All Out 2020 when he defended the tag titles with Kenny Omega. And finally, the former AEW World Champion Jon Moxley, his second figure as well, or at least third if you count the chases. So there you go. And now, without further ado, let's just get into actually seeing what these figures are all about. On the left, we'll start with Scorpio Sky. So here, this is a really cool figure. It's got a weird kind of sheen to it, actually, I would say. This one, it's quite a shiny material they're using, a little bit more polished than before. So the head sculpt, really like the expression that he's got going on here, kind of a smug look he's got going on. And I think Scorpio Sky is fantastic, and I'm liking what he's doing in AEW at the moment with Ethan Page. And now you can see, I like the skin tone's pretty good on this, as are the trunks, which I'll get to. So yeah, you just got the black and the yellow and white popping on them, which I think is cool, and the figure moves quite well as well. I think they've sorted the issues with the looseness of the arms. So this one comes with his hoodie, and also this AEW World Tag Team title belt. Again, like the detail on this, it's good to see the tag titles in figure form, and the side plates are looking pretty cool on that too. So again, I really like the colour on this. I think it stands out well against the black, and it moves better than the AEW Series 4, I believe, and you can see the kind of movement that we got going on here. Because in the last series they had an issue with the arms, but this one, I'm pretty happy with how stiff it is. So a very solid figure, and he stands quite well. Well, I say he does. There we go. And now moving on to his tag team partner, we got Frankie Kazarian, and he's looking a bit pale here, looking a bit disheveled and grizzled. The head sculpt I think is okay. It does look a bit strange, the shaven cut, but that's just a personal opinion of mine. The movement in this one, not quite as good as Scorpio Sky's, I think, but it's still a decent figure. And the legs are a bit weird on it too, but that's just me nitpicking. And again, it's he's quite his tights are riding high, let's say. He's shown a lot of ass in that this attire, which is a bit odd. But again, I do like the attire. I just think the proportions look a little bit strange when they're stood up. Oh, sorry, Mox. And Scorpio Sky, there you go. But yeah, I think this as well is a bit of a problem. This jacket was so difficult to get off of the guy. I hate these rubber jackets. There's no movement in them whatsoever, and the spikes are so deadly for what's supposed to be a kid's toy. But this also comes with the World Tag title belt. So I like this figure for the most part. I think the proportions look a tad weird, in my opinion, and maybe the head sculpt could be a little bit better. But other than that, still decent. Probably not as good as Scorpio Sky. But let's move on to former AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. And he comes with this AEW World Championship belt that you might have seen before with his last figure. So they've updated the head sculpt on this. It's a little bit of a more tired looking Mox. I actually prefer the Series 2 head sculpt that he's got going on. And he's got a bit more of a beard in this one. He looks a little bit strange, I must say. And they haven't fixed the height issue, so it's still far too tall, in my opinion. And they've got the same jacket that he had in Series 2. And these legs, I think it's a sturdy figure, all things considered. The only thing really holding this back is the height, and I think that Mox is looking very tired on this head sculpt. I do like the tights design though, compared to the AEW Series 2 figure. It's a sturdy figure, it's good for posing, but it's just too tall. That's all I've really got to say about it. And speaking of too tall, we move on to Hangman Adam Page. And this figure is also a tiny bit taller than the AEW Series 2 figure. And this is an updated head sculpt as well. I don't know how I feel about this head sculpt. I kind of prefer it to the original. It's got a little bit more of an expression to it. So here what you got to do, you kind of pop the head off. And it's very tough to pop the head off, as you'll see. This is me giving it a good go. There you go. But yeah, the head sculpt, it's okay. I think the lips are a bit weird. That's where it kind of is let down. I prefer the growling snarl he's got on the Series 2, but they're quite easy to customize, so you can always take the head off of one and put it on the other if you really wanted. Torso's good, and I also like the detail he's got going on with these cowboy tights. And there you see Hangman on the back there. So it moves quite well. I'd say it probably moves better than the AEW Series 2, but the problem here, you can see the neck peg is quite loose once I've taken the head off. And the belt as well is riding quite high. And it comes with this handy beer mug and this little tiny shot glass. Now we come on to Jungle Boy, a member of Jurassic Express. I really like this figure. One thing I would say, because he's quite a skinny lad, it's a little bit loose to move, but I do like the fluidity of it. It'd be great for posing, and you can see you get a lot of motion with him. The only problem really is you kind of see a little bit of the inside of the torso when you hold him back. But it moves quite well, and I like how it poses. It stands quite well, and I think you could be quite expressive if you were to use this figure in your pick feds. But again, like, I really like the attire. I was thinking of getting the ringside exclusive Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, but I'm pretty happy with what I've got here at the moment. So if we take a step back, this one scales a lot better than, say, Hangman and Moxley with the other AEW figures, and he comes with this spare pair of hands as well. So very good figure. Glad to have him in my collection finally. But now we move on to the finale. My favourite figure of the bunch, by far, it is Luchasaurus. Comes with a spare pair of hands, millions of years old, and finally gets his first AEW figure. And what can I say about this figure? Like, I love the detail in the mask. They've got all the different textures on it, and the colour is fantastic. The tattoos as well, they really pop off of the skin. And he scales quite well with the others. He's tall, but not too tall, if you know what I mean. Perfect scale. And like the detail as well on the tights, I think is fantastic. Like just the little intricacies of the the pattern on it, and every little bit of detail. I really like characters like Luchasaurus. I think there needs to be more of those kind of wacky characters in wrestling, because they make for good figures and also just makes them stand out from other members of the roster. Oh, well, he's a little bit inflexible. That's one thing I would say that kind of lets this figure down. But then again, he's a big guy, so it's a little bit tough to move. But other than that, like, I think it poses really well. You can perform all of his trademark signature moves, and the detail in this figure is second to none. I think it's certainly my favourite out of the bunch, and I could not recommend getting this more. So now I'll rank them from my least favourite to my favourite. Starting off, we've got Frankie Kazarian. Not that I dislike this figure per se, I just think the proportions look a tad weird and the head sculpt isn't really doing it for me. Likewise with Moxley, I think the scale is completely out of whack. You can see, I think Moxley and Kazarian are around the same height, but Moxley is just towering over him, so that needs to be fixed in later releases. Next up, we've got Hangman Page. Similar scale issue, but I still like the tights design on him. And now we've got Scorpio Sky. Love the attire, love the tone of him, I love the head sculpt on him. Great figure. Then we've got Jungle Boy. I love the posing and the fluidity in which he moves. And finally, of course, Luchasaurus as my favourite figure of the bunch, just from the tattoos to the detail in the mask and all the other little details make this a figure that you should definitely pick up. I'd say out of all of these, the only ones you should really pick up are Scorpio Sky, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, maybe Frankie Kazarian, but I'd give Hangman and Moxley a pass if you don't already have those figures in your collection. But what do you think about AEW Series 5? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed and subscribe for more here on NLW Figs. I've got a couple of good ideas in the bank for videos on this channel, so I'm sorry I've not been as active on this channel as I would have liked to have been. It's just a case of me trying to get NLW out and done as a priority, but I've got some cool ideas in the bag that I'm looking forward to you guys on this channel seeing. But with that said, hope you stick with me. Catch you guys later.